CivicConnect. Tell us a little bit about CivicConnect.
Sure. CivicConnect is the founder and CEO of CivicConnect. We're a company that works specifically in smart cities. CivicConnect platform is that data management platform to pull data from any and all sources. Okay. And CivicAR is our mobile augmented reality specifically for smart cities.
Cool. I want to hear what you think about Alan Robles's presentation about places.
Exactly.
The biggest place.
Exactly. Thanks.
All right.
And this was great. It's actually a nice cap. The previous presenters, it's sort of a nice run-up to this. And what I thought we'd do is stay with the theme of the conference. You know, what are our superpowers? So our superpowers are augmenting cities, putting AR in the hands of people. You saw in the previous presentations doing some incredibly wonderful things in terms of AR technologies, design and the like. But the challenge is, how do we actually get real people doing real things in their everyday lives to use AR? And I thought I'd pull a few things to kind of set the stage here. We're here in Silicon Valley, so if you look around and start looking at some of the investors, what's some of the buzz? And one of the big things is, what's the next big platform? What's going to be the next user interface? The smartphone replaced the PC. Where do we go next, right? In fact, there's talk here in the Valley of the smartphone has reached the end of innovation. It's not going away, but that user interface, that universal platform, we need to find the next universal platform. So I thought I'd pull a little bit of this. So what is the next crazy idea? That's what we're all looking for, that one big idea. Tim Cook, CEO Apple. A significant portion of the population will have AR experiences every day, almost like eating 3 meals a day. It will become that much a part of you. And he specifically says a significant portion of the population, not only in the wealthy parts of the world, but across the globe. That's a big statement. And I love this one. AugmentedReality.org are the founders, the hosts, the sponsors of AWE. We advance augmented reality to advance humanity. Our moonshot, I love this, our moonshot, inspire 1 billion active users of augmented reality by 2020. That's a tall order. How do we get AR in the hands of those 1 billion people? And then finally, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and CEO of new company Neuralink, humans must merge with machines or become irrelevant in an AI age. Not exactly on point, but let's give ourselves a stretch goal, right? So this is what we're going to work with today. How do we actually get there? How do we get AR to be that universal platform, that paradigm shift that we've all talked about, without necessarily putting on headsets or doing something special, but rather living our regular lives, working in our jobs, doing what we do day to day through a smart, connected, augmented city. So here, let's go back, and this is great because I think a number of the gentlemen that presented before really, it was actually, we could have pulled this together as a really nice piece. They each sort of tackled bits and pieces and parts of this. Because in order to get AR, augmented reality, in that everyday usage, we first need smart infrastructure and data-enabled things. We need that data out there in the environment, that data that we can pull and augment. Everything from sensors to databases to content to photos, the Internet of Things. That's happening. Open data initiatives. In the e-government, in the smart city, in the government space, the open data initiative movement has taken off like wildfire. Basically turning those troves, those treasure troves of data sitting deep inside government entities, opening them up, putting them out, making them available in electronic, machine-readable formats for people to use, access. Massive amounts of data now being opened up that actually are augmentable, much of it geocoded, geolocation and the like. Integrated cross-platform smart city solutions, basically pulling together the various types of solutions. We just saw a wayfinding app to find your seat at a stadium, and you've got one about the train time coming. How do we pull all those together? How do we combine that with smart grids? How do we start stitching together the augmented city? And then finally, the technologies, the devices, the things that we're going to use to augment. And here I'm talking about those that we use and encounter in our everyday lives. Smartphones, tablets, soon wearables, connected vehicles, things that every person on the planet does every day. This together really forms the foundation for those augmented cities. And let's see where we are now, where we're going. By 2020, and actually I need to sort of give a little caveat here. Anybody out there, if you go online and start looking at anybody, Gartner, IDC, starting to do these predictions, the numbers just keep growing every day. So take everything with a grain of salt, but they're massive. 2030, and really who knows how many billion things will be connected by 2020. That number has changed every couple of months, and it just goes up and up and up. A massive amount of things across the globe will be connected in just a very few years. 6 billion smartphone users. With all of these new devices and everything, the smartphone is still going to be one of those regular devices that people across the globe tote with them every day. 6 billion. 250 million connected vehicles. Many of us already have the beginnings of connected vehicles. You've got City Drive, you've got safety features. More and more of those are going to be coming out where we will be sitting in vehicles that will connect not only for safety reasons, connect with our entertainment, connect with other vehicles, connect with city life as you drive through a city. And 400 million wearables, and that number I believe is just going to keep going up and up as well. Every one of these billions upon billions of things and devices are potentially generating, taking data that can be augmented and really enhance that life for us in an augmented city. Now let's just go walk through some of this. What types of things in that everyday life in an everyday city? Mobile workers, right? Can efficiently and safely serve. In each of these use cases, and I know we showed some previously which were wonderful, we're actually working on, have implemented, or are prototyping with real-world cities, government entities, civic sector entities somewhere across the globe. So think about that. Mobile workers that can access all of that information efficiently, safely. We're working with a public works department that is tying in training videos via augmented reality apps so that their workers in the field automatically, when they come upon something, will get a training video and can take that safety measure before they go down in a manhole or before they go into a facility. Real-time meter reading. Workers can see everything they need. Tons of research about augmented reality, virtual reality, and a lot of it is showing upwards of 30% efficiency increase when workers have information in their field of vision as opposed to a tablet, a manual, or something else. That's a massive change. That's a massive cost savings, a massive productivity enhancement. Being able to be out there in the street, just as the last presentation was showing, and in the environment, being able to pick up, there's that street pole that was last serviced on this date. There's that fire hydrant. In the environment without doing anything special, right at your fingertips. We live in this great state of California, right? Mobile workers, one of the most costly, biggest costs for workers in the environment, in natural resources, is time to get out and service things. And the fact that they don't have everything at their hand. Do I actually have the right piece on my truck? How do I get there? So think about maintaining and servicing our great natural resources here in the state of California via mobile augmented reality. Being able to, again, be in the environment with all of that data at your fingertips, actually in your field of view. And then, and this is actually not a trick of any sorts, this is where you can really do something powerful, simple but powerful. All of that same data, all of that same information, all of those same augmented experience, augmented workflows, now we can flip it and present all of that to our publics, our citizens, our voters, our visitors, different potential presentation, possibly different permissions, different authorities to get to it, but the same data. Now you start to get the power of our augmenting these cities. And we're doing that with numerous clients where they will have an enterprise mobile workforce application built on all sorts of available data, and then turn it right around and turn that into a citizen-facing, a public-facing, a tourist-facing, a voter-facing augmented experience. And this is one of those, when I say voter, because when we talk with cities as cities, the city council people, the mayors, one of the biggest across the globe, one of the biggest desires and is to take that data and turn some of these augmented reality experiences into something that voters, citizens can use to see and experience something that is going to happen in the future. A major development, a new transit station, a highway going through your neighborhood. Visualize it, see it, experience it. Tell the elected officials, do you like it? Do you like this one better than this one? See it actually in the environment rather than looking at a flat piece of paper. Very powerful. Very powerful. Connected vehicles, roads. One of the biggest uses here, we talked about those connected vehicles. Vision Zero, the global movement to reduce traffic-related pedestrian and cyclist deaths, right? It is a major public policy move, public health move. And with connected vehicles connected to that augmented and real-time in the environment safety device, I'm going to be warned before I step into that crosswalk. The car is going to be warned. There's all sorts of things we can do with that once we start connecting everything. Trains, planes, and autonomous vehicles, and Hyperloop. If you haven't been to one of the Hyperloop facilities or demos, go. It's real. It will be there. And once we start thinking of these connected vehicles as really information, connectivity, and motion, what can we do with that 1, 2, 3 hours of sitting in a train? We're doing some really interesting stuff with a few of large players in this. Finally, sort of bringing it all together, and we'll close out here in a second, it's really about creating that augmented city experience where everybody lives, every human being works, lives, does daily things. So we can augment, use all that information, data, to provide AR, put it in the hands of workers, transit riders, tourists. We had the gentleman asking about tourism, big use for this. And again, those workers out in the environment. So that citizens, visitors, workers can really navigate and experience every aspect of that augmented city without, and I think you heard some of that theme before, without having to buy new expensive devices or really do anything other than what they do in everyday life. It's just shifting the way they contextually and experientially move through their environment. And if you take a look and step back into, it's interesting because it's really pulling together many of the other presenters, the things, the umbrella that overlays a city, a region, a county. Urban planning and management, we had some of that. Transportation, one of the most impactful uses of augmented reality. Citizen engagement, we talked about that. Utilities, smart grids. Economic development, how do we stimulate new business? How do we bring tourists? Community health. Public service delivery, public safety, and it goes on and on and on. It is fascinating when you sit with the city and the use cases that they start to generate when they see the capabilities of augmented reality and bringing all that data together. So the question for all of us is, are you ready to help kind of plow those fields and put the power of augmented reality in the hands of people everywhere and help AWE be able to say we reached our goal of 1 billion active users of AR by 2020. And with that, thank you. I'll take questions if there are.
We have time for one quick question.
In terms of actually implementing the augmented reality, there's a lot of cities doing the heavy lifting and of the data and getting it ready. We're working with probably the few that are doing it at a city level, where some of them I probably can't talk about. The city of Los Angeles, for instance, where we're from, is moving forward to start with an actual CivicAR going across the board. A number of the cities, if you followed it, that were involved, or the U.S. Department of Transportation Smart Cities Challenge this past year, that have pulled everything together, are looking at augmented reality implementations. And a number of, you can imagine, high-end tourism cities. We've done this with Palm Springs, for instance, Fort Lauderdale, because that's I say easy, it's a very straightforward and impactful implementation of augmented reality where you can see the benefits right away. So Singapore, as part of their Smart Nation movement and at the city level, is doing some really good stuff where they are actually taking artificial intelligence, AI, the analytics, and bringing it out. They haven't yet done, the plan is to do that augmented experience throughout the city. They haven't done it yet. So I mean, it's right at that moment right now that you're going to see it start happening. Great. Thank you very much. Go forth and augment.